Welcome to 5-Minute Bedtime Stories, brought to you by TaleBot, your child's AI storyteller. Want to create a bedtime story for your child? Visit talebotai.com/create. Now, let's sit back and enjoy the story.
Jean's Journey to the Warrior Kid Path. A special bedtime story for Jean. Once upon a time, in a small town called Willowville, there lived a brave and kind-hearted 7-year-old girl named Jean. Every night before bed, Jean's mom would read her a bedtime story about a boy named Mark and his incredible adventures. This time, the story was called Way of the Warrior Kid 3, Where There's a Will. Little did Jean know, this story was about to become her own. Jean was a smart and talented girl who loved learning new things. She excelled in school and was always eager to try new activities. However, there was one thing that bothered her, a boy named Danny Reinhardt. Danny seemed to be good at everything. He ran faster, did more pull-ups, and even had jujitsu moves that Jean couldn't figure out. On top of it all, Danny was always smiling, which drove Jean crazy. One summer, as the sun shone brightly over Willowville, Jean's Navy SEAL Uncle Jake came to visit. Uncle Jake was strong, wise, and had a heart filled with love for his family. When Jean shared her frustrations about Danny, Uncle Jake listened with a knowing smile. He told her about the Warrior Kid Path, a path that helped people become stronger, smarter, and faster. Uncle Jake taught Jean that everyone has their own journey and their own strengths, and that it's important to focus on self-improvement rather than comparing yourself to others. He introduced her to the world of martial arts, teaching her the basics of discipline, respect, and perseverance. Uncle Jake explained that Jean had the power within herself to face any challenge that came her way. Inspired by her uncle's words, Jean decided to embark on her own Warrior Kid path. She trained hard, pushing herself to run faster, do more pull-ups, and practice the jujitsu moves that once seemed impossible. She learned to embrace the smiles of others and let go of her own frustrations. Jean realized that her journey wasn't about being better than Danny, it was about becoming the best version of herself. As the summer days passed, Jean's hard work paid off. She could see her progress, not just in her physical abilities, but also in her confidence and determination. She made new friends at her jiu-jitsu class and discovered a love for physical fitness. One sunny day, Jean found herself face-to-face with Danny at the annual Willowville Fun Run. Instead of feeling defeated, Jean smiled and greeted him with kindness. As they started running, Jean focused on her own pace, not worrying about whether Danny was ahead or behind. She pushed herself to keep going, knowing that she had trained hard and was prepared for the challenge. As the finish line came into sight, Jean felt a surge of pride. She had completed the race, and with it, she had completed her own personal journey. She looked around and saw her family and friends cheering for her, including Uncle Jake, who had been there every step of the way. In that moment, Jean realized that the Warrior Kid path was not just about physical strength, it was about the strength of the heart and mind. She had learned to believe in herself, to embrace her own uniqueness, and to support others on their own journeys. Jean knew that the lessons she had learned would stay with her for a lifetime. That night, as Jean's mom tucked her into bed, she asked her daughter what she had learned from the story. With a smile, Jean replied, "I learned that everyone has their own path, and it's important to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. I am a warrior kid too." And so, Jean closed her eyes, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. As she drifted off to sleep, she knew that she would continue to walk the Warrior Kid path, facing each challenge with strength, courage, and a heart filled with kindness. Good night, Jean. Sleep tight and dream big, for your journey has just begun.
Thank you for joining us on this enchanting journey. If you enjoyed tonight's story, remember, the magic doesn't have to end here. Craft your own adventure with TaleBot by visiting talebotai.com/create. And as a special treat, use the coupon code TALE99 at checkout to get your bedtime story for just 99 cents, instead of the usual $2.99. Sweet dreams, and until our next tale.